Leroy Larry developed that explains in down-to-earth scenarios how the principles of physics could have come about from observing nature. Each episode begins with a scenario, followed by an example to illustrate the application of these principles in futuristic research at the frontiers of science, such as Leroy's astrophysics doctoral research at CINESPA, Center for Space Research, and then concludes with an exploration of how these same principles could have very well been used by ancient cultures and civilizations. Mathematics is naturally encountered and incorporated as the exciting and fun tool of science that it is. Science is the window into our amazing world of nature, and mathematics is the tool to open that window. Natural physics encompasses current, futuristic, and ancient physics, and ties them together by the principles of physics that are common threads running throughout each.
Greetings, I'm Leroy Larry, and welcome to Natural Physics, live from Costa Rica. Happy and safe New Year's to you and your families. This episode, we join my colleague Bruce Callow in Warsaw, Poland, as he has went there to volunteer to help with the refugees from Ukraine. Without further ado, I would like to introduce Bruce, and we have two special guests as well who he will in turn introduce. Take it away, Bruce.
Yeah, good afternoon or evening, wherever you are. Thanks a lot, Leroy, for organizing this special podcast here in Warsaw for us. I'm very pleased to hear and meeting fantastic people that are doing amazing things, including this important work is at the Centrum Expo Center for Ukrainian refugees. It's one of the biggest ones in Warsaw. Several thousand people are housed in this center. I've had the opportunity to visit it a couple of times, and I'll be going back tomorrow for workshops with the kids. So without any further ado, I'd like to present you right away to Lucia. Probably don't pronounce her name correctly. I'm still working on my Polish, and it's really, really great to see you. And also we have Carl, a wonderful volunteer and a friend. It's become a friend of mine these last weeks. Gosia coordinates donations at this center. Those of you who are listening to this podcast, I would strongly recommend that you would consider making a donation specifically to this refugee center, which has a lot of needs and is doing absolutely fantastic work. So I'll pass it over to you, okay, Gosia? And thanks again, Leroy, for hosting this special program.
Okay, thank you very much for opportunity to be here with us. I'm Gosia, this is Carol. It's pleasure to be with you right now. We are in front of Expo. As you can see, I will move a little bit. It's this long building behind me. Right there, right now, we help 4,000 people from Ukraine who go from their houses and left everything behind. And we are doing everything we can to help them. But we need help from abroad, and we need your help. Because sometimes we are laughing, but it's laugh and tears in one time, that we need luxury products like toilet paper, like soap, like water in small bottles. Oh, you can hear a little boy who just having fun right here. We have a lot of children, most children and young women who left their fathers, their men in war, and right here they need help. We need you to stay here and to help in next few weeks, I hope, or in worse time, maybe in months. I really beg you. I beg you for support, because Polish industry cannot help all of 3 million people from Ukraine who came to our country. And if we didn't have donation from abroad, we can't make it. We can't make it. And every night when we trying to send emails to others companies for help, and we get the answer, no, we can't help. We want to cry, but we can't cry. It's not our country who need to do everything to stop the war. We just need to help, and to help we need your help. And if you need to do something for us, if you do want to deliver food or other products, like I said, toilet paper, paper cups, or anything like boots for children who want to play outside, please contact me. My great friends who invite us here, of course, I think they will give you my email address, and you can contact me, and I will do everything to make it possible to help us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Gosha.
Thank you. I'm sorry, but if someone has some question, then we will ask. But I need to go inside and do what my job is. So be volunteer, and I have a very important talk with people from soap. So I need to talk about soap because we don't have enough, and I need to go. I'm sorry. I'm willing to stay with you longer, but work is work, and volunteer is work for me right now. But I'm actually a teacher, not having any money from Be Volunteer, just like Carol, like everyone. Every single person who helps here don't have anything from it, only smiles of these people, of these children, of this woman who thank us about what we are doing.
Thank you so much. And we will
Thank you.
definitely get your information to our listeners and viewers. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was pleasure.
Same here. It's an honor. Thank you, Gosha.
Thanks, Goshen. Yeah, and I
And
look
go.
forward to meeting you tomorrow. Thanks again for taking time to do this.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, and Gosha,
well, may I introduce my friend Carl?
Bruce, could I say something real quick? Gosha, if we'll be here for about 55 more minutes, so if you get a break or if you think of some more you want to say, please come back out and we'll be here.
If my soap talk will end up soon, I will come back. I promise.
Okay. Thank you. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gosha. Well, a great pleasure to introduce my friend Carl, who hails from Pennsylvania, but he calls Colorado home. So all the folks in Colorado and Pennsylvania, you should be very, very proud of this young man. I met him on my very first day of volunteering here, and I was deeply impressed with his commitment and his style and just the general sense of fun. The amazing work you're doing with the kids, Carl, is an inspiration for anyone who has the pleasure of meeting you. And we've had some fun moments together too. In fact, Carl's in a Costa Rican newspaper too. What did your parents think about that when they saw your photograph in a Costa Rican newspaper?
I'm not sure if they saw it actually, but that's pretty cool. Thanks for that, Bruce.
Carl,
not at all. Carl, can you tell us about what's going on in your world? What's happening?
Yes.
Yeah, so I've been just led into the childcare sector here, and as a man, I'm in a unique position to help because, as most of you probably know, all the men in Ukraine have been required to stay and to fight or just contribute to the effort in some way, and so all of the children and the wives, they don't have their men around. So I'm in a unique position to play with the kids and just sort of step into that role. And the kids are really responding. So it's been amazing every single day here. But yeah, this building is the Global Expo. They turned it into a refugee center, and there's about 2,500 people here. It looks like a pretty big building, but like where everybody's living, it's a pretty confined space. It's difficult to imagine living here. I mean, it's taxing for me just to work here, and at the end of the day, I just feel really just heavy and saturated. But for the folks that have to live here, it's pretty intense. But yeah, just following up on what the previous woman was talking about, Poland is bearing this load, um, by themselves, basically. I mean, the world is chipping in, but yeah, it would be awesome if the whole world could do a lot more to help out because this is going to be a long-term thing. So yeah, any donations, any support. I'm from the U.S. and I feel like we're not doing enough to welcome in refugees. So if you could contact your state representatives and tell them that it's a priority that we welcome in refugees. It's important that we all step up as a world. So that's kind of my 2 cents. And I guess
Carl,
just one more thing to.
oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
how long have you been there?
So I've been here coming up on a month, a little over 3 weeks, but a little less than a month, and I'm scheduled to be here for another 2 months because I was able to stay for 90 days just on a tourist visit. But if I'm able to get a visa, then I'd like to stay longer and contribute longer. And just one note about the kids, it's really remarkable how kids have this built-in coping mechanism where they can just focus on what's right in front of them. And so even though there's trauma all around them, I mean, the parents are traumatized, everybody's traumatized all around them, but yet when there's toys there, they can just pick up the toys and play and just, be happy kids. And that, I have experienced some children that are showing signs of war trauma, but a lot of them are able to just sort of step right back into being a kid. So it's pretty remarkable.
That's amazing. That is remarkable. Wow. Uh, can I ask you, Carl, what motivated you to now, Bruce? I do want to talk to you also. I know that there's a strong connection with Alberta, Canada, and Ukraine, and I know that's part of your feeling of wanting to do something. Carl, what is it that motivated that motivated you?
Yeah, for me, it was just an internal calling. I've watched world events unfold like throughout my life and done maybe little small symbolic things to help. But when this happened, I was really motivated and driven to actually get up and go show up and do something about it. And I didn't know what form that was going to take. Originally I thought that I'd be in Ukraine, and then I kind of settled on being in Poland. I thought I was going to be working in a warehouse just sorting donations, and when I got here that all changed. I was invited to come work with kids and was kind of reminded that I'm able to connect with children. And so, like I said, I'm in a unique position to help as a man working with the kids. So it's been a real blessing being here.
And as you said, with all the men that are within that age range being back in Ukraine, to have a male role model that is there with these children. I mean, that's a part of being a volunteer, being a man volunteering. That I would, wow, that just came to my mind, that you and Bruce and other men that are there, in a way you're being surrogate father figures, while their fathers and the husbands are in Ukraine fighting.
Yeah, yeah, and it has been a real honor to step into that role and just, show respect to the women, open the doors for them, or lift a suitcase or just say hello each day, and then also, yeah, just for the kids, just to connect to them, and a lot of them call me uncle, and I kind of feel like an
Oh,
uncle, just a fun, guy playing with
oh,
the kids, getting down on their level, playing Legos and drawing and coloring books. So it's been really,
oh,
really amazing every single day.
oh, right on. Oh, that's so awesome. That's awesome. Uh, Bruce, as I said, I know about the connection between Alberta, Canada, and Ukraine, but could you, being my close friend, and I still remember the day that you told me that you were headed to Warsaw, Poland, and I was astounded. And could you say something about what your additional motivation was?
I think I kind of ditto what Carl said. It's like an internal calling, um, the need to do something, even however small, to share in this experience. And in my role, in previous roles as a communications person, I think I could add some value, hopefully, because it's a short trip. I'm only here for what it's at 3.5 weeks. You know, other people are here for a much longer period. So, um, what I wanted to do is to try to understand the situation from different perspectives here in Warsaw. I visited many different centers. I've engaged in different, organizations. So I have a fairly okay understanding of how the different parts work together. And that's when I'm leaving back for Costa Rica shortly. That's where that role will continue, and also in support of helping Ukrainians match up with Canadian families. And that's sort of my role started shifting about a week and a half ago into that kind of thing, finding sponsors, and connecting Ukrainians with those people. It could be at a transit railway station, just a random 5-minute conversation can lead to a life changing experience for a family. And that's very humbling. It's extremely humbling. And, like Carl's in a center there with several thousand people. Every single moment that you're in that center, there are so many different dramas unfolding. It's almost impossible to capture that all. And like I guess, Carl, you would say at the end of the day, when you go home from that place, um, unwinding is must be something of a challenge. Or are you getting used to it now after being in there for a while? I think we lost your audio, Carl. No audio.
No. Can you hear us, Carl? Okay, we can't hear you. Oh,
Unmute your audio, Carl. Uh, Patch back in, call back in.
Hopefully, Carl will be able to come back.
yes. It was working fine. I mean, he was coming
But
in
yeah,
clear.
further.
Yeah.
But yeah, further to your question, Leroy, it's a calling, just a very personal thing, really.
Yes. Yes. That's just. I mean, just people. Oh, he's back. Is
Yeah, can you guys hear me now?
all right. We got you.
Uh,
Okay.
okay,
Great. Great.
Yeah.
awesome.
Hey, please repeat what you were saying after Bruce asked you that.
Can you actually remind me of the question?
Okay.
Yeah, it's like how do How do you unwind
Uh,
after being, working in where you are, all that's going on in there? Um, I thought when I did my musical presentations, after an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then talking to people for a while longer, that was a lot for me. And you're in there for a lot more than that every single day. So how's that going?
yeah, for me, I'm a big nature person, so that's by far the most powerful method for me is just to connect with the earth. And so going on walks, just spending time with trees, and just grounding the energy down, praying a lot. That's been very helpful, actually. It's just sometimes I find a church to go to and just pray and just let it all go.
Where are you originally from, Carl?
So I was born in Pennsylvania, but I call Colorado home.
Okay, okay. To go all the way from Colorado to where you are and to be making such an impact, it is. See, that's what I call heroes. Bruce, same thing. I mean, it's just as y'all said, you had a calling, you felt you needed to do something, and you did it. And that's what the world needs is people doing what they feel is the right thing to do and to come to the help of our fellow human beings. That's what it's all about. uh I'm honored to have both of you and Gosha on the podcast. And again, I can't thank you both and her enough for taking the time out of your schedule. And as you, I can't even imagine how drained you must be at the end of the day, because you're giving of yourself. And all these people, they're human. We're all human. uh, Affection and to be with other humans, and so you're really being drawn upon to to give of yourself, and not just the physical part of volunteering where you're uh, lifting boxes or doing or at a whiteboard or a blackboard, or but it's the giving of yourself, your energy. It's just so it's heroic. That's the only way I can think to call it. And thank you both so much for what you're doing. And Gosha, thank you so much.
Yes, sir. And yeah, just to follow up on that, it really is an honor to be in this position. This is the first like major volunteer experience that I've been a part of, and it's just filling me with love and purpose and gratitude. A lot of people expressing gratitude to me. And then also just I am absolutely inspired by the Polish society at how their entire nation has just mobilized to help their neighbors, and no one even thinks a thing about it. They're like, of course, this is what I do. Um, of course, this is what I would do. Like, they're my neighbors. And also, a lot of people have said, like, we're next. So, like, we really have to support our neighbors because, Russia wants to come attack us and take over our country if they're able to do that to Ukraine. So,
What I've been seeing um, in the news, I honestly did not know a lot about Ukraine. I mean, I would sometimes I'd watch the Olympics and they would show in the march, the parade of countries, and you would see the representatives from Ukraine, and I knew it was close. It was Eastern Europe, but I did not know much about the people. And what I've seen is they're remarkable. I mean, in they're as you said, they just keep rolling. I mean, they just keep they do what they need to do. And I saw the footage of how the mothers would be carrying their children in their arms in the crowded trains, and a lot of times uh, no place to sit down, but they held on to they held on to those children, and they made it there. So as you said, it just it must be such an honor to be there helping those people the way they are, the way they have uh, uh, persisted and the way they have overcome what they've been going through.
Yeah, absolutely. And one more thought to add to that is just the concept that, when we are giving, then we're also receiving a lot. Like I said, a lot of love and gratitude and just purpose. I'm filled with purpose right now. And then also the ones that are receiving are giving the gift by being willing to receive and by being in that position of humility and accepting the help from the others. They're really giving the gift to the people that are doing the helping. So it's just a beautiful back and forth.
Yes, yes, that's awesome. That's so awesome. And as you get to know some of the people, do they tell you much about how their life was back in Ukraine before they were forced to leave?
Not so much for me because I'm spending a lot of time with kids, but Bruce might be a better one for that.
Bruce, have you had much?
They do sometimes. Been
Oh,
moments when we had the opportunity to have lunch or have a cup of coffee together. A 20-minute conversation with the person who's experienced something like that was it's absolutely it has a lot of impact because when you see people in a big group and all kinds of activity going on, but then you break it down to an individual moment. And I was performing music at different centers, and one of them had piano right next to me. So I people up and they play piano and I play guitar. And a gentleman who's a medical student, psychiatry actually, he and I kind of connected big time, and we performed the Hallelujah together. And then after we went and had lunch, and I met his sister who was studying online in the midst of all this, studying exam to pass her, her classes. In the midst of all this, people are working, believe it or not. They're continuing with patient in the midst of all this. And so he told me about what it was like to get out of his city that was under attack. And that one conversation just really like had an impact on me because it's you take the to the individual moment. And what I learned and what I've learned to appreciate more and more is the people of Ukraine they're a proud people. They're working people. They're not used to be lining up for a bowl of soup. That's not their thing. They came to Canada and they farmed in the most inhospitable parts, and they built the country in many ways. It's their nature. They're very very tough people, and they work. They want to work. They want to study, just live a normal life like anybody else, right?
right,
So to
right.
have this thrust upon that can be extremely hard because as much as they appreciate all the help, on a personal level, it must be somewhat difficult. And that's been expressed to me a couple of times that we really wish we could do this all by ourselves, but there's no
Yes.
way that we can. So we appreciate your guys' help. We do appreciate the help, but boy, I wish we didn't have to ask for it.
Wow.
Does that
Yes.
make sense to you, Carl?
Yeah. You guys still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Um, yeah, absolutely. A lot of gratitude from the people that I've and something that I wanted to mention, like the faces of like who's being affected by this war. It's obviously millions of people, but for me, it breaks down to like individual level. And like I I saw these three women show up, on a bus, and one was a mother, one was a daughter, and then one was a mother. Just switching my audio over. Yeah, just the grandmother like really stood out to me as like she is the face of the war. Like she is a person who deserves to be living out her elder years in her home country. Um, yeah, so it's really incredibly sad, and it's just totally unnecessary. This whole war.
It just, I can't
Yeah.
even, I can't, I can never understand how such insanity could come from the source, just one source that this has come from. It's just, it's so insane. This, it's insane. It's just insane all for the whole world.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely,
And
absolutely.
Yeah. It's
what I
It's
what I've heard on the news is how the Ukrainian people, they express their love for their land, and it's more than just a physical, your feet on the ground. It's spiritual. I mean, it's they're they it's they say the land is them, and they are the land, and that kind of feeling, and it's and what you said about them, Bruce, what you said about they kind of want to wish they could be doing it themselves. You hear that in their voices that they they'll defend their land, and it's not just dirt. It's their home. It's where their roots are. It's where they're from. It's where it's their connection to their energy, and so again, I knew nothing of Ukrainians, uh, but what I've seen is they are remarkable people. They very much are, and what I've heard. And the women, they talk about
absolute.
how
And the connections you make with the people.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Bruce?
Yeah,
There may be.
the connections you can make with people, the linguistic part. I'm starting to more handle on some of the Ukrainian vocabulary, at least in terms of space related topics, because fortunately, the planets and a lot of the technical terms, mesosphere, stratosphere, all that, it's virtually the same in English. So yeah, when I do my little space workshops, and the things from NASA, which NASA has kindly donated to raise the spirits here, it's a lot of fun moments. And in the midst of all this, there's a big cultural exchange going on, or probably many different types of cultural exchanges. Because here I am in Poland, Carl's in Poland. It's like I never really planned to come to Poland, and I'm sure glad I got to come here too, to see how these amazing people have just like mobilized their entire nation on behalf of Ukraine. But this is not something that they can handle or should have to handle on their own. So I'm really hoping that the listeners here will be informed and interested in what we're saying. But the bottom line is sign that check, make that money transfer, and this refugee center is a great place to donate to for something as specific as buying soap. Okay, basic needs every day. So if you contribute to this, you will be able to skip administrative layers of other organizations are doing wonderful work, but this is a very direct way of helping. And thanks to donations I brought from Costa Rica, I was able to go shopping on some occasions and deliver these essentially needed items to train stations. And now you can see in this center they have urgent needs. So come on, world, let's step up on this one, okay?
And Bruce, okay, they is there a link or an email address that people will go to the to go to the expo to go directly to them, as you said?
Yeah, that's right. I sent you the email for our guest speaker, and she can handle it directly. People can arrange everything 100% through her.
Okay, Ray, I don't know if you can do
So all
this,
they have
but
to do is send, if they're interested, email to the what?
okay. Um, Ray, I don't know. Can you put Gosha's email address up on the screen by any chance, or maybe if Bruce, if you're on your computer and you have and we do a share screen, you can put and we can verbally let's say her email address for the listeners.
Yeah, just
Could you
say it
maybe
because I
do?
don't have it. I don't have it.
Okay, Bruce, could you verbally say Goja's email address for the listeners and the viewers as well?
Um, yeah, I could do that. I get the feeling though that's not going to be effective. Um,
It'll be effective because
if
I can
I
put it
can
up if you put
resend
it.
that to you, Leroy, can you arrange to post it?
Let's see.
I'll resend it to you.
If you say it now, I can
Otherwise, there's
post
going to
it
be
on the screen
errors.
right now.
Oh, okay. Hey, Bruce, if you verbally say it, Ray can post it on the screen. It's M dot. I don't remember exactly
Okay.
what it is. Okay, okay. Uh, what could you verbally say her
I just
email
sent
address?
it to you on WhatsApp, Leroy. If you
I don't have my phone
sure.
by me.
M
It's
dot P. Okay. M dot P for pig. I-K dot expo at gmail.com.
okay. So it's at gmail.com, and it was M dot P.
Pikora dot
Pikora
expo
dot expo.
dot yep at gmail.com.
Okay. So M dot P
That
I
can be on the
K
screen. That would be great. So yeah,
O yeah, M dot Pikora dot expo at gmail.com. Is that it, Bruce?
yep. That's Gosia. Gosia.
Okay, her first
That her
name
name
is
is
yeah.
Gosia.
Okay, so everybody
Yeah, that's great.
listening, I want to repeat this email address, and her name is Gosia. I think you would spell that Gosia. I hope I got that right. Her full name, her how do you pronounce her full formal first name, Bruce? How do you pronounce that?
Well, I probably mispronounced it. Małgorzata. My
Beautiful name.
Polish is pronunciation is almost as bad as my Ukrainian.
Well, all you listeners, I
But
want to
yeah,
repeat. Oh,
please.
uh, I want to repeat this email for you listeners. It's M as in Mary dot P as in Paul, I as in Isaac, K as in K as in kiss. Thank you. O as in over, R as in Ray, A as in Apple, dot expo. E as in every, X as in X-ray, P as in Paul, O as in over at gmail.com. m.picora.expo at gmail.com. And as Bruce said, send money. Please send anything anything you think, just ordinary, just what it can buy, what it can supply uh, these people with. It goes along. I've seen the shopping cart that Bruce had with supplies in it, and it can do so much, everyone. So as a global community, let's come together and let's do this. Carl,
Thanks, Leroy.
thank you, Bruce. Carl, um, would you like, uh, yes, send donations directly to Ukraine? Carl, is there any other methods that you know of that people can just go straight to get what they want to donate straight to the people instead of going through a lot of administrative stuff? Oh, I can't hear you, Carl. Can you hear him, Bruce?
No, no, check your audio if you could. And just to be clear, that these donations will be going to Poland. It's not directly to Ukraine because this refugee center is located in Poland. So that
Yes.
information on the screen is you're directly helping Ukrainians, but in Warsaw.
Okay, there we go. Thank you, Ray. Okay. Okay. I think Carl, he went out and is going to try to come back in because that's what he had to do before when his audio kind of went out. Um, Bruce, as I asked Carl, are there any other means that you know of that people can donate in addition to the email address that we've given out?
I think there are many, like there are so many, right? Um, but just based on my experience here working, with refugees and so on, that's kind of the area that I've been, focusing the most on. So from sort of my experience and what I'd recommend, that would be it. But oh yeah, there are so many different elements to this problem that need to be solved. So yeah, people have other areas of interest, other expertise, and so on. I totally appreciate that. But the refugee problem situation here in Poland is enormous. So I highly recommend to support this cause.
Yes. Carl, you're back. Can you hear
Yes, can
us?
you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Awesome.
All right,
Um,
wonderful,
what
wonderful.
what I had asked you was, in addition to the email address that people can contact to send donations, do you know of any other contact information that people should know about where they could get their donations directly to the people and not go through a bunch of administrative bureaucracy and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think the email that you listed is going to be the best resource because unfortunately I don't have like a website or something to give you.
Okay.
I will say, yeah, and actually, guys, my battery's about less than 10%. So if it cuts off, that's why. But I
Okay.
just wanted to let you know that part of the reason that I came over here was to first of all be boots on the ground and help out in any way that I could, but also to tell the story for the people back home. Just like a ground level view of here's what's happening, here's what I'm seeing, so that people can donate money and pray. That's one thing I wanted to encourage everyone to do is just pray or send positive vibrations to these people. They're really going through a lot, and so any kind of positive energy that we can send for them and sending blessings and praying for them really is very, very important. Also, I do have an Instagram and a Facebook account, and so y'all are welcome to follow me. My Instagram is my first name, period, last name. So it's Carl with a K, Karl, period, Voll. That's my Instagram name. And then on Facebook, it's just my name, Carl Vol. And you can feel free to send me a friend request and just follow along. I've been, trying to post every day or every couple days, just letting people know what's happening and what I'm seeing. So
Thank you, Carl. And you said that you may cut out at any time. So I want to say before that happens to thank you, and we will stay in contact. And I also wanted to say if you wanted to just keep talking to the listeners around the world, please, what would you continue? The floor is yours for as long as your battery will last, okay?
Okay.
Please,
Yeah.
yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, I can't possibly stress enough the importance of prayer. Whether you're religious or not religious, or spiritual, like even just sending positive energy, just sitting there and thinking about sending love to the people that are refugees, to those that are stuck in Ukraine. Some people don't want to fight, like, but they're stuck in Ukraine, away from their family, and the wife and the children might never get to see their husband and father again. So yeah, if you can send positive energy, send love, send light, pray for them, that would be huge. Because these people are going to need a lot of healing. I mean, this is a lifelong thing for these people. Um, I've had some opportunity to work with some of the youth, and I really feel like the young men are kind of like the most vulnerable to the darkness because there's like a frustration there. So definitely pray for them, especially that they're able to like forgive in their own way and not go through life carrying this all. And then, yeah, the money, the donations, it all helps. I had an opportunity to work at a donation center just for one shift, and just going through the donations that other people put into a box and sent. It's like I got to experience firsthand, like the donations really do make it to a place, they get sorted, and then they're handed directly to refugees that really need it. And I experienced people coming directly off of a train from Ukraine and just being just the look on their faces and just the exhaustion and all of the emotional trauma that they have just gone through. So handing them something positive is really, really supportive. So yeah, donate whatever you can, and pray. I would say those are the two biggest things. And I don't know if y'all are in Canada, or if you're in the US, but um, yeah, are most of the listeners in Canada or the US?
Oh, Carl, I'm in Costa Rica, but
Ah,
we have pod, we have podcast listeners on Apple, Amazon, Google, and Spotify, and
okay,
they're from countries all around the world, Carl,
okay.
all around the world. Yes.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful. So yeah, really, I would say reach out to your governments, whether they're doing a lot or not doing a lot, and just encourage them to do more. And like I know in the US, it's very easy to find contact information for our government representatives, and we can send emails and we can call, and that information does go directly to the politicians, and they keep track of all that. They might get 10,000 phone calls for people supporting refugees in America, and the politician will look at those statistics. So I feel like that's a humongous way to contribute, is because like Bruce was talking about, and like I said, Poland is bearing the heaviest of loads right now, and it is not sustainable for them to continue doing so. Even just here in Warsaw, there's 1 million people, 1 million refugees was the last number that I heard. And I think in Poland itself, it's like 2.5 million or 3 million. And I'm sure, yeah, that's obviously going up per day. So it's great that they're helping, but it's not sustainable long term for them. So the world really is going to have to step up and continue to do so. I know many people in many countries are doing things. Unfortunately, my country, the US, is not doing a whole lot to help the refugees. It's awesome that we're sending arms to the front lines to help them defend their country. But I would really love to see the US welcome refugees into America. So, again, contacting your government officials and just letting them know that you support help for Ukraine, for the Ukrainian refugees, that would be huge.
Yes, I'm originally from the United States, Carl, and I agree. I hear you, and I hope that our government there will. I hear you. I hope they will hear you as well.
Hmm. Yes, yes.
and as you said, this is not sustainable. I mean, the numbers that you just said are they're unreal. And other statistics I've heard, and I talk about how remarkable the Ukrainian people are. Let me not leave out how remarkable the Polish people are for doing what they're doing and coming to the help of their neighbors, just people opening their homes. And you and Bruce, you're right there. You see that, you're in that energy, it's just got to be so unreal for you to feel that, to see it. And but you're doing something. I mean, as you said, a simple thing to give a person that has been through so much as these people have been through. And I keep thinking about what I've seen in the news of what they've had to go through to get to Poland, to get to Warsaw, and just that human element of having a hand stretched out to offer any kind of help is just at the most basic human level that we all need, is a helping hand. And again, it's just it's just unreal when you think about all the things that you don't normally think about, like what the two of you are talking about. There's the things you hear on the news and you see on the news, but then to talk about the inside and what people are experiencing and what you're experiencing there, that's it's just it's unreal. It's unreal. And Bruce, uh, just as Carl is drained, and you said how you, when you're playing your music and you're drained, how do you get yourself ready for the next day to go back and have that same level of energy that you had at the beginning of the day, and to do what you did the day before? How do you get yourself how do you get yourself ready for that the next day?
Yeah. So I think Carl's gone now. Is that looks like his battery ran out.
Might have been. Unless he went out. Not he might it might have ran
Tell
out on him.
you, I'll tell you, for every bad thing, I think so. I'll tell you, every sad story, there's like, you know, the good actions and positive things are so common in a crisis like this. And you feed off that energy, like those few $100s that I brought here from donations to buy supplies. My random next door neighbor in the where I'm staying, he just says, "Yeah, I'll match that." So he's like an embassy grant matching scheme. And I've encountered so much inspiration that it just blows me. Uh, the guy who lends me a car for my entire right, can't pronounce his name. He's got this really complicated Polish name. Won't even try. I've lost count of how many wonderful acts of kindness I've experienced here from the Polish people, and wonderful interactions with the Ukrainians. I could show you a few photos briefly if we have a moment. I just a few minutes ago I put together a random collection of photos of Ukrainians that I've encountered over these last few weeks. I don't know, and maybe when you see their faces, in part because just an incredible motivation to see their how you can brighten someone's day just with a kind word, or even a NASA sticker or NASA pin, even better, right? And
Yes.
that's proven to be a really important thing. So I want to thank NASA, my colleagues there that provided these donations. So there's a photo of the central train station and
Okay.
the communication.
Okay.
Speaks Ukrainian, Russian, Polish, and he's been coordinating a lot of the activity, through Canada. I've got a slide here. I'm not sure how I can go about going to the other slide here.
Bruce, this
Photograph
picture
of
of the,
a family
the
that we met. I don't know if we.
hey Bruce, this picture in the train station, is that the train station in Warsaw? I mean the main train station.
Yeah, one of the main train stations
The
where
main.
the
Okay.
refugees come through. One of them,
Okay.
yeah.
One of them. Okay. How many? Do you know how
The
many
place
train
is
stations?
buzzing with activity 24 hours a day.
Yeah, I saw that on the news. Do you know how many train stations that they have available for people to come to Warsaw from Ukraine? By any chance?
Where the central, the western, and the central, western, and eastern stations. We've done drops of supplies at the central station a couple of times and the western one.
Okay.
But this is like probably the good do a, a screen with other images. Is that possible?
Yes.
I'll give you
Please.
another screen share here if I can.
Okay.
This is an example of one of those moments when it all comes together. Give me one sec here. And when it all comes together, when you get to go face with the family and meet and then help connect them to a family in Canada that's willing to host them. Let me see if this tab here. And this family I talked to for just like 10-15 minutes, but it's remarkable what 15 minutes can do in a situation like that. Okay.
Let me ask you, Bruce. NASA
Love
really,
to share it
Na-
properly.
NASA really.
So
Oh, the little kids over there, Bruce. They know about NASA just like any kid around the world. Okay. The screen share is not coming across, Bruce, but that's okay. I just got a message from Ray, but that's okay. But Bruce, the pictures that you've posted on Facebook that that shows the little kids with their NASA stickers, and I saw on the news, one of the news broadcasts, a little girl in, it might have even been that same train station that you just showed in Warsaw, had a NASA cap on. NASA has just as much of an appeal to the kids, to the Ukrainian kids as any, and to the Polish kids as any other kid in the world, huh? The space, outer space, and the exploration of outer space. It's a global thing, isn't it, Bruce?
absolutely, and it's wonderful to see the good cheer that can bring. Are you guys seeing my screen there now?
Oh, there we
You
go,
can see
Bruce.
a picture
Yes.
of Carl and other volunteers, and you can they're wearing their proudly wearing their NASA stickers, right? It's so
Yes.
cool, and
Yes.
they're tired. They've been working for like 5 weeks straight, and so I came in as a volunteer with music and space stuff at a kind of a critical moment because they'd been working nonstop for over a month. So if I could raise the spirits of the volunteers in some way, then that transfers on to everybody else. So that was pretty neat. And those are wonderful moments. The people you meet in a supermarket. She's from Ukraine. This young lady go about the shopping. This young guy, he came through the Western railway station, and just like, yeah, let's just have a chat. Just see, there's a happy NASA family there outside of the Central railway station. So yeah, just to see them, crack up a little bit, and just the funny sort of slight absurdity of it all, right? It's like,
Right.
why are we talking about that? And they
Yes.
get the humor of that too,
And
and it lifts them out of the. It's like, gee, how we've been through now we're Mars.
hey,
It
Bruce,
worked really,
what
really well, and I'm in contact with people at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory to actually send way more stuff, and the Cultural Affairs Office at the U.S. Embassy in here in Warsaw is in conversation, so we can hopefully get them to send a lot more stuff so we can get them into the hands of these families.
you hear that, everybody? Okay. And Bruce, as you said, you're raising the spirits of the people that are there doing what they're doing. I mean, it's just a win-win all the way around what you and the other volunteers have been doing. And I think that we are coming close to the end of the show. We started a little bit earlier, before 7. And Ray, could you let me know exactly how much time we have left, please? Um, Okay, we have 3 minutes. So Bruce, are there any other pictures you wanted to show? I just wanted to make sure that we had enough time for you to do what you want to do.
No, no, I mean, I think that, oh, there was the one daughter, and yeah, that was for me to have that moment with them, because I was able to somehow connect them with the family. It was actually through some help at the Canadian Embassy. I'm looking for that photo, but no, it's all good. Oh, this one here, the bottom right hand corner, and you know what? That lady now, she's to find hosts in Canada too. So she got the benefit, and now she's passing it forward. So
That's
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 great. I
so
mean, super
that's so
super
cool.
happy to see how that works, right?
Oh, for sure, Bruce. That is awesome. Oh, okay. Um,
So
oh, thank you. I mean, that those pictures, and everyone listening and viewing, please go to Facebook and check out Bruce's posts, because they're beautiful. I mean, the pictures and the videos, please take a look at those. And the email for donations is still up there, everyone. m.picora.expo@gmail.com. m.pikora.expo@gmail.com. Send money, send whatever you can, because it will go a long way. Bruce has told me multiple times, you can't imagine how far the donations can go. So please, everyone around the world, we're a global community. Let's help out our peeps, okay? All right. Let's help our neighbors out, our neighbors in our global community. We only have one world, one planet. Thank you, everyone, for listening and viewing. Bruce, Gosia, and Carl, my extreme gratitude to you for taking the time out to tell people around the world what needs to be told. And so I will now close. And everyone, thank you for joining us. and let's help our neighbors, everybody. Let's help them out. Okay, tune in, same fat time, which is gonna be summer solstice, same fat time. Be well and safe, everyone, and let's extend our hands to our neighbors. Thank you.